Good evening. Welcome to Greenback Baptist Church, Facebook Live. For those tuning in, expecting to see Lauren. Lauren's recovering. Had to make a trip to the hospital yesterday. I'm glad to say that Lauren's doing okay. He has a colon infection and taking some antibiotics for it. It's good to see him up walking and here with me this evening. I tell you what, I ain't saying it just because he's here. I'd say it even if he wasn't here. Our pastor has a lot of traits that I admire. And one of the traits is his resilience and his toughness. I swear he's tougher than a Dollar General beef jerky. Or shoe leather, but I admire his toughness and his resilience. That all comes from his faithfulness, and I admire his faithfulness and his work that he does for the Lord. We need to be sure. Our pastor does so much for us, does so much for the church. If you haven't told your pastor what he needs to do, I encourage you to. He does so much for everybody else. He is, well, I've said it before, I think he taught his church how to love people. But he is the most selfless person I've ever met. Anyway, you didn't tune in to see me cry. A few announcements I'd like to make. This coming up Sunday will be our Father's Day. We'll be celebrating our fathers, so be sure to come. And if you can bring your dad, that'd be great. Dads, bring your kids, and we're going to have things for those with the most kids there, the oldest father and the youngest father. And, I always enjoy our Father's Day services, so be sure to come. And guys, we don't get too many days of the year where we're recognized. Might as well take advantage. So come on out to our Father's Day Sunday service. Our 4th of July parade down here in Greenback. Don't have a date on it yet, but we will be participating in the 4th of July parade. We'll have a float parade. If you'd like to come and get involved in that, there'll be opportunities to come and either witness to people downtown, handing out waters and bottles and tracts and information, and again, just telling people about the Lord. And then there's opportunity to ride on the float, and stuff like that. But it's always a good time, and it's a really good time. The one thing that I've noticed about any parade that Greenback has down here, those parades are pretty much carried by the churches to this day, and I really appreciate that. A lot of our churches, they get involved, they get a float in it, so be sure, if you want to participate in that, be sure to do so. In 2 weeks, not this coming up Sunday, but in 2 weeks, we hope to be celebrating our graduates, our high school graduates. So in 2 weeks, we hope to be doing that. We'll have, I think Lon said something about having a little something for them. Of course, we'll be handing out Bibles and just celebrating them and letting them know that they're loved and we're here for them. Life's just getting started for those graduates. It's good. It'd be good to know as a graduate that you got a church behind you. You know, you've got people no matter how life is going for you, no matter how life's treating you, or what decisions you got to make, or what's coming up, you've got a church family to go back to. So anyway, be sure we got those things coming up. Got a lesson tonight. I want to talk about a couple of things, but I want to talk about the decisions that we make and the effect that those decisions have on our lives. And the decisions that we make how it affects our relationship with Christ. But before we get started, I'd like to go to the Lord in prayer. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your many blessings. We thank you most of all for sending your Son to die on the cross for our sins, Lord, and raise him back up. Lord, we thank you for salvation. We pray, Lord, for those that are lost, Lord, and don't know you, Lord. Pray, Lord, that they'll come to know you in relationship, Lord. Be with all those on our prayer list. We got many, Lord, that are sick and dealing with medical issues. And just pray that you'll apply your healing hand to those and those with burdens and cares. And, I know many in our church, Lord, are carrying heavy burdens and loads, Lord. I pray, Lord, that you just be with them, Lord. Again, thank you for being with our pastor, and pray, Lord, you just keep him and just help him to continue to recover and bring him back healthy to us. Again, Lord, we just thank you for all that you do and provide for us, Lord. And Lord, tonight, I pray, Lord, that you just guard my lips from error. Lord, I pray, Lord, that something I say will help somebody that's lost, Lord, to come to know you, Lord. I pray, Lord, that something I say maybe help somebody in their relationship with you, Lord. It's all about you and nothing about me. I just, again, thank you for all that you do, and just be with our church, be with all our church members, and be with the lost, Lord. All these things I ask and pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I'm going to start out in Genesis chapter 25. I'm going to talk about Jacob and Esau a little bit. More so Esau than Jacob. How this relates to the lesson tonight and what I would like to talk about is Esau. We all know the story of Esau and what he did, giving away his birthright and stuff. But that decision had he compromised for temporary satisfaction of the need that he had. For the temporary satisfaction of the need that he had, he compromised, and it cost him not only them, it continued to cost him. And I know that relates to all of us. I really believe, I know I have in my life that I make a decision only thinking about how it's going to affect me right now. Not thinking about, well, how's it going to affect me long term? How's it going to affect my relationship with Christ? But turn with me to Genesis chapter 25. We'll start at verse 19. We've got a lot of reading right here. I apologize, I don't read awfully well, but verse 19 says, "And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham got Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Phanuel, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man in the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau, because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob saw pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware to him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Like I said, we know the story well, and you can go on a little further. It talks more about Jacob and Esau, but I want to kind of focus this evening about Esau, like I said, for temporary satisfaction of a need. He gave away something that meant nothing to him, but he didn't really think about what that birthright meant to God. He didn't quite understand that he was giving away something that he should have given away. He was giving away something that he shouldn't have the right to give away. God was blessing him, and he was giving those blessings away. How many times in your life, and like I said, in my life, I know that we've done that we've compromised. We've made a decision that we wanted that temporary fix of the problem, but we really didn't pray it out. We didn't think it out. Think, how's this going to affect long term? How's this going to affect my relationship with Christ? We'll talk a little bit this evening. Sin in our life, unconfessed sin, and making foolish decisions and making decisions without praying about them, making decisions not based on your relationship with Christ and not thinking about the long-term effects. Those have a cumulative effect. That word cumulative means a gradual building up. Small decisions they tend to build up to life-changing decisions. A decision we make today can define who we are in the future. I kind of wrote down an example here. Say somebody makes a decision one Sunday to get up and go to church that don't normally do. And this reads about the cumulative effect, how one decision affects the next decision. A decision for someone to get up and go to church one Sunday, that doesn't normally go. Leads to a more interest that they have in the church, which leads to salvation, that leads to baptism, that leads to a relationship with the Lord. And that relationship leads to something that has no limits, to where or what it can lead you to in life. That one decision affected so many decisions after. That's a cumulative effect. When we hear that word cumulative, we might think of money, a bank account or a savings account. That's a positive accumulation. You put money in, you leave it in there for a while, it gains interest. It accumulates. But tonight I'd like for you to think in this way. But think of a snowball. You're out there in the snow and you're building a snowman. It starts out with this handful of snow, right? And what you do is you put it down on the ground and you roll it. And you hope it's a good amount of snow, because it makes it easier and faster to make the big ball of snow. But say the snowfalls we get around here, you know, maybe 2 or 3 inches, what happens is, when you make that ball of snow and you begin to roll it, it takes up all the snow. And if you look at that ball of snow when you get done with it, what does it have in it? It has dirt, leaves. When you roll it, it accumulates everything. Everything gets caught up into that snow as you roll it. And I said that because a decision or a compromise can affect so many things. A decision, you think about the decision that you make, and as you begin to roll that decision, and hopefully this will make sense to you. As you begin to roll that decision, and as you make that decision that affect, and you have to go on and keep making other decisions after that, so many things get affected by it. So many things get caught up in it. And I look at it this way. A compromise. Say someone makes a compromise to sin, to participate in sin, or they compromise in their relationship with Christ. That one compromise affects everything. Every decision that you make after that, everything gets caught up in that decision. And the next thing you know, I know from my experience, you're in over your head. Kind of like the story of, well, it was just a little white lie. Well, the little white lie turns into this big, huge lie by the time that you roll it. And that's kind of what I want to talk about tonight is, when we're making decisions and stuff, we have to keep in mind, how does this affect, when I make this decision and I get a result from this decision that I make, what does it affect? Who does it affect? And number one, how does it affect my relationship with Christ? With Esau, I don't think Esau thought that out. How is me just giving this birthright up to satisfy my hunger now? How's it going to really affect me later on down the road? He said, what good is this birthright doing me when I'm hungry? It would be like me making the decision or you or I making the decision of, if we got hungry one day, and we just decided, we're going to do whatever it takes to get our food. So we decide we'll give everything we have away for a bowl of soup. That doesn't make sense. You say, that's not something I would do. But for Esau, that's exactly what he did. He gave everything away, and future blessings that God had for him, he gave them away for temporary satisfaction. One decision made hastily, one compromise. You think about all the things that it can affect, and as you're rolling that decision, what gets caught up in that? Well, your marriage, your kids, your work, and like I said, the most important thing that gets caught up in that is your relationship with Christ. And I've said it before, what relationship should we work the hardest at? What relationship should we worry the most about? It's that relationship with Christ. And we don't want sin to accumulate in our lives because it chokes out and it affects our relationship with Christ. Esau, we read here about Esau. Esau is mentioned in the New Testament. Turn with me to Romans chapter 9, if you will. Romans chapter 9 and verse 13. says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. In Hebrews 12, verse 15 through 17, it says, looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. To me, when I read that verse, the part where it says, in any root of bitterness springing up, any root, any sin, if that sin is allowed to be rolled and it's allowed to accumulate, it springs up and it troubles you, and thereby it defiles you, if that makes sense. Verse 16 says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For you know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Esau, as he got older and he realized what he had done, it was too late. It was too late for Esau. He couldn't get back his birthright. That's kind of what I'm talking about tonight, is the decision that Esau made. It had a real negative effect on his relationship with God. One compromise cost Esau so much and so many blessings. So I ask you tonight, is that you? Have you ever experienced that in life? I look at it this way. I know I have. Have I not been where God was intended to bless me at? Absolutely. Did I compromise and affect future blessings? I'm sure I have. Have I gave my birthright away for a bowl of soup? No. But I look at it this way. I know that I gave away so many blessings, really for far less than a bowl of soup. I've compromised for less than a bowl of soup. Is that you tonight? Think about, and it's real easy to do. You make a decision in haste, not really thinking about how it's going to affect my relationship with Christ. I'm stressing that before we make decisions, that we do. I think, the people that I admire most in life, and you think about the people mentioned in the Bible in Romans chapter 12, the Hall of Fame of faith, those people, they seeked out wise counsel before making decisions. They went to the Lord before they made decisions. And I encourage you tonight to do the same thing, because, like I said earlier, the small decisions that we make, if they're wrong and they're temporary, and if they're done with sin, done in sin, they can accumulate over time, and they affect you. I know that I made decisions as a teenager. I'm 45 years old. The decisions that I made as a teenager are still affecting me now. So I encourage us to think about it. Think about it before we compromise. Is that compromise going to bring you away from God? Is that going to miss you out of blessings? Are you going to be, like I said, are you going to be where God can bless you? Kind of a related topic that maybe hearing this kind of make the rest of that make sense. Galatians, if you would turn with me to Galatians chapter 6, verse 7 through 10. When I first heard this verse, when I was a young man, and even as an adult, hearing this verse used to scare me, but now I see it differently. I see a lot of love in this verse, and maybe I can explain what I mean. Galatians 6, I'm going to read 7 through 10. It says, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting." That kind of talks about that cumulative effect. What we sow to, we reap. Verse 9. "And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith." Just for a minute, I want us to think of these seeds that this scripture is talking about. I would like for you to think about these seeds as decisions or opportunity. Every decision that we make has a cause and effect. My decision to do something caused this reaction. It caused this effect. Or my decision affected this, affected this. The opportunities I took caused this. Or my lack of taking an opportunity affected this. What I mean by all that is, when I make a decision, like I said, it has a cause and an effect. It caused, say I were to make the decision to go home and consume alcohol. And then I made the decision to get behind the wheel of my car. And as I go down the road and my driving ability is impaired, I get into a car accident. My decision had a cause and an effect. My decision to first go home and consume alcohol, it caused me to get behind the wheel. And it caused my driving ability to be impaired. And what was the effect? I had the accident. Maybe I took someone's life or something. But every decision we make has a cause and effect. And I think that's important as Christians to think about that. Like I said, the people that I admire most in reading the Bible are those people that no decision is not worthy of prayer. No decision is taken lightly. They really think things out and they pray them out. What effect, prayer has on our decision making. Have you ever had a big decision to make and you take it to the Lord first and you pray and you get your answer or you get the help that you needed? It's a blessing after that, But if we have decisions to make and we don't go to the Lord and we just make them and we're just only thinking about, this temporary satisfaction, like I said, that can affect us long term and that can affect your relationship with Christ. The opportunities that you take can cause this. Maybe in your Christian walk, God is giving you opportunities to serve Him more, and you just keep putting it off, and you ignore it, and you don't take those opportunities. Those opportunities aren't promised. They're not promised to always be there. They're not promised to always be offered. So you decide, I'm going to blow off these opportunities. I'm not going to take these opportunities. How does that affect your relationship with Christ? He's giving you opportunities to grow. He's giving you opportunities to serve Him, and you're just blowing it off. Like it doesn't mean anything to you. Does that kind of sound like Esau? He blew off his birthright. It didn't mean anything to him, but it meant everything to the Lord. It meant something to the Lord. I look at it this way. This is kind of what I wanted to close with, but I'll go ahead and talk about it. You take your life. A price was paid for you to have life. A price was paid for me to have life. A price was paid for me to have life and to have opportunities to make decisions. A price was paid. So if you think about this, every decision I make, am I thinking about the price that was paid for that decision? Or do I just haphazardly just make it? Life, like Esau, the birthright meant nothing to him. If we go through life thinking that this life don't mean anything, that it's ours to spend. This time that we have on earth, it's ours to spend. We're kind of taking something. Well, we are. We're taking something that we didn't buy. And we're treating it like we don't care about it. Like it don't mean nothing. And I know it's probably a really deep and thick way of looking at things, but that's, in studying this, you think about it. A price was paid for the life that we have. The opportunity to make decisions, a price was paid. A life was given. A life was given, a life was laid down that we can have life. So why shouldn't we take this life and every decision that we have and take it serious? Why shouldn't we be mindful of Jesus Christ when we make decisions? After all, He's the one that gave us the right to make a decision. So who more so should we think about in making decisions than Jesus Christ? This scripture here in Galatians 6, 7 through 10, it talks about reaping and sowing. And we talk about in sowing, you're sowing what? You're sowing seeds. For those of you that have a garden, or ever planted a garden, or have a garden, if we plant corn, what do we expect to harvest? Corn. If we got beans, it's like, wait a minute, I planted corn and get beans. Something ain't right. You think about this, every decision that you make, you're expecting corn from that decision, right? Nobody wants beans from it. But a decision, a bean decision, if you plant beans, that's what you're going to get, is beans. You're not going to get corn if you plant beans. And thus you're not going to get corn or beans if you plant corn. If we plant seeds of lust in our life, what should we expect to get? we should expect to get dissatisfaction. And what does this satisfaction, what can that lust that we give into, what can that affect? Everything. You give into lust, it affects your marriage. It affects the relationship that you have. It affects who you are. It affects more than you. And thus it affects Jesus Christ. It affects your relationship with God. If you plant seeds of greed, what do you expect to get? Discontentment. Nothing I have is good enough. I want more. I want more. Well, you plant those seeds, you're going to get discontentment. Nothing's ever going to be good enough. If you plant seeds of laziness, maybe I'm guilty of that. Seeds of laziness, what should you expect to get? About the full harvest? No. If you plant seeds of laziness, you're going to get disappointment. You're going to get out of life what you put in it. I look at it this way. We talked earlier about a bank account. When you put money in the bank, what do you expect to get back out? What you put in it, right? If you put $50 in and you go back to the bank the next day and they only want to give you 40, something ain't right. You're going to be like, wait a minute, I gave you 50 and you're only giving me 40. If you put $50 in it, it takes a long time to accumulate interest, but I'm saying if you leave $50 in the bank for however long time and you let it gain interest and you go back, you expect to withdraw more than $50. Think along the lines of this way. Your relationship with Christ is a bank account. What do you put in it? What do you put in it? What do we put in it? The more we put into our relationship with Christ, the more we will get out.
Amen.
I promise you that. If we plant seeds of laziness in our relationship with Christ, what should we expect? Disappointment. Disappointment. If we plant seeds of anger in our relationship with Christ, what should we expect to get? Constant discord. The Bible talks about being in one accord. A person that's angry, they don't know what it's like to be in one accord. They don't know what it's like to be in one accord with God. We are 100% responsible for the kinds of seeds we plant. We're responsible for every seed that we plant. And thinking that should scare me to death, and it does. And it should scare us to death as Christians. You're in line at the grocery store. The person in front of you is complaining about how long it's took for the guy to bring the groceries up. Next thing you know, you buy into it. You start complaining to the person behind you. Next thing you know, everybody in line is complaining. Where you have an opportunity to say, you know, I've been behind that register. It's not easy. I never come to Walmart. I look at it this way. I never go to Walmart if I'm in a hurry anyway. You have an opportunity there to stop the complaining. You have an opportunity there to show Christ. You have an opportunity there to plant a good seed. Well, I've watched that person bring the groceries up. They're doing all they can do. I mean, that lady had 2 buggies. I mean, what can you expect? And then you turn around to the person behind you and they say, well, yeah, they're taking too long. You say, well, yeah, but, you know, like I said, I came to Walmart. Who should expect to really be there? I hope this makes sense to you. We're responsible for every seed that we plant. And we receive the harvest that we sow. like I said, what you put in relationship with Christ, you get so much more back. What are we putting in our relationship with Christ? What are we putting into it? In Genesis 1, I'll be coming to a close here in just a few minutes. In Genesis 1, you'll be able to find that pretty easy, right? Genesis 1, right? First and bottom. Genesis 1, in verse 11 and 12 says, And God said, Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. Even God said, I'm planting grass, grass comes up. I'm planting a fruit. If I plant an apple tree, I should expect apples. And the earth brought forth grass, and the herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was all good. If we're planting bad seeds, we should expect a bad harvest. If we're planting good seeds, we should expect a bountiful harvest. Again, think just for a minute, as your, like I said, as your relationship with Christ, as a bank account, you put in, but you get more out. In conclusion, in Galatians here, the seed won't grow unless it's planted. A seed, you buy seeds, you go to the co-op right as spring starts, and you're all excited about to plant the garden, and you buy a bunch of seeds up, you go home and you put them in a drawer. Should you expect watermelons if they're in a drawer? No. It'd be kind of foolish to, right? To expect watermelons from seeds that ain't even planted. The seed won't grow unless it's planted. How will the lost know Jesus if we're not telling them? How will there ever be a harvest if we're not out here planting seeds? Good seeds. Telling people about Jesus. Telling people about what He's done for us. And how He died on the cross for us. And He saved us. How will they know? If we only take the gospel and we keep it right here in our church, and we keep it right here in our fellowship hall, and we keep it only in our home, should we expect the harvest to be different out here in the world? No. No. It starts at home, and it starts out here in church. But we have to take the seeds and go out here and plant them. They're not doing any good in the pew. They're not doing any good at home. We've got to go out and plant those seeds. Far too often in life, I've planted too many seeds of good intentions. I've had good intentions to go out here and tell people about Jesus. I've had good intentions about, furthering my relationship with Christ, having a more meaningful and powerful relationship with Christ. I've had good intentions. It doesn't matter how good intentions they are. That bag of seeds is, if it doesn't get planted. Like I said, Galatians 6, 7 through 9, I've learned this. You always reap more than you sow. And that goes both ways. You will always reap more than you sow. If you reap good, I've learned a little effort on my part little work that I put into my relationship with Christ, I get so much more out. I think it goes both ways. If I'm not planting seeds, if I'm not working on it, it'll live out. And verse 9 tells us there's hope in sowing if we faint not. Continue to do good. That's what this scripture tells us to do. Continue to do good. Continue to plant good seeds. Continue to make good decisions. Continue to always be mindful of Jesus Christ and what He's done for us. Continue that relationship. Continue to build it. Continue to harvest it. Continue to nurture it. Continue to water it. Continue to seed it. It encourages us to. Because we will reap one day. It says in due season. I like to think of due season as rapture. Or when He calls me home. I'll say this and I'll hush. Don't compromise. Don't miss out on God's blessings. Don't take short-term satisfaction. I'll tell you, it's not worth it. Short-term satisfaction is not worth a lifetime of regret. And somebody pulled Esau to the side and said, look, son, I know you're hungry. And I know you feel like you're going to starve to death. But don't give away your birthright. That's going to affect you not only now, but it's going to affect you the rest of your life. You don't know how many blessings you're giving away by doing that, son. There's nobody there to tell you so. You've been told tonight. If you've ever come to our church, Lord delivers the gospel, you've been told. Compromise is not worth it. Sin, allowed to accumulate in life, is not worth it. It affects too much. It hurts too much. So, if you get anything out of this tonight, is continue. If you don't have a relationship with Christ, I encourage you to come to know Him. And then build a relationship with Him. And if you have a relationship, I encourage you to be doing these things to your relationship. Like I said, nurturing it, watering it, putting stuff into it. Because I have found my little feeble effort. He has blessed me beyond measure. So much. Imagine what more effort I could get. What would come of that? But I love you, and come be with us Sunday. Got Father's Day coming up, and you'll get to hear Ron preach. And thank you very much.
That's good, Bobby.